Welcome, brothers and sisters. My name is Eros and I am the Tool Maker. Today we are continuing with our series all about the planets to get a better understanding of every single planet, of the energy of every single planet. So, as you guessed from the title, we are talking about Mars, and please, as always, do remember that we are not taking into consideration every single possible correspondence of Mars. We are taking to our attention the correspondences that, in my personal experience, I think will give you a better understanding of the energy of Mars. So, without further ado, for Mars, let's start with passion, especially in the sense of sensuality. So, straight away, please do be careful if you cast for love using red candles. Red candles are more often than not correspondent to either Mars or the element of fire, if you are working with elements of magic. So, casting for love using red candles will usually only bring sensuality, if you know what I mean. If you are casting for actual love, for emotion, you are much better off working with water or Venus, at least in my experience. But this passion, we can also call upon the power of Mars to call upon passion, to bring again this passion to our activities, to our relationships, and to our career. Also, we can work with Mars to find and follow passions, or to better the passion that we pour into our activities, that we pour towards what we want and towards the things that we want to obtain, and our ideals, of course. So, in a sense, keeping our inner fire kindled in any way, through passion, of course. Then we go to the second correspondence, that will be impulse. So, impulse is the strength necessary to take action, to take meaningful action, or is also the strength necessary to renew things and renew situation, to cause an upheaval, if you want. Also, through this impulse, with Mars, we are much more able to follow new things that we want to obtain, that we want to pursue, and to chase opportunities through this strength, which is, in a sense, also our pulse for adventure. Of course, always being prudent, not blindly throwing ourselves towards any opportunity. So, in this sense, we also want to use our control over the energy of Mars to recognize our impulses and controlling our drive, ideally to find our path. Then, the third correspondence that we will take in consideration for Mars is the fighting spirit. So, Mars is inspiring us to be brave, to take things into our hands, and to take massive responsibility upon ourselves for our action, please do remember, responsibility is not always a bad word, as we are more often than not told. Then, through this fighting spirit that is critical for our mental health, we want to always be fighting for something that we believe in. We are also recognizing the fighting spirit into other people, and we are bonding with other people, recognizing each other fighting spirit, because of course we are stronger together. Then we can clearly tell from this brief introduction through correspondences that the teaching of Mars is mainly courage, so bravery in a sense, fighting for what we believe in, standing up for our ideals. Of course, please always remember that we first have a debate, and we should never drown into our passions. We should not always be constricted by our passion. We fight for our ideals through our ideas. Then, this courage is also finding our inner fire, if you want, and not be devoured by our inner fire. In a sense, we are using this fire to forge, and we don't want to be devoured by this fire. It's bravery, not being aggressive. So, in this sense, if we are in control, we will be working with Mars as blacksmiths, not being devoured by the fire of Mars, just like arsonists, if you want. So, as we said before, the object better representative of Mars is the sword, which is a mean to vehiculate power. Because, of course, power in control is always stronger. For the principle of leverage, but as clearly anyone who ever practiced martial art can tell you, power with technique, power in control is always stronger. Just like within ourselves. For example, knights fought for something, giving to themselves this power in control, while throat cutters, forgive the term, were always in search for opportunities in this sense, to steal fire. So these correspondence to the object of the sword is also teaching us control, so when and if to act with our power. As always, we will take in consideration two archetypes, two personality traits, with the personality traits, if you want, a positive one and a negative one. In this case, we will take in consideration for the positive one, the warrior, and for the negative one, the bully. Now, we can clearly tell that the warrior is brave, is not scared of the menace of violence, while the bully is usually scared of violence. This is why the bully himself or herself usually apply violence of some sort to try and control others, even though, of course, many of our social interaction have an underlying menace of the use of violence. Then we can clearly tell that the warrior is determined in his choices or her choices, while in a sense the bully is obliged to do certain choices through habitude, subconsciousness, and so on. The warrior is usually driven by respect of his or her ideals or morality or friends, institutions, and so on, while the bully is usually driven by fear. The warrior is fighting for his or her honor, for his or her morals, as we said before, while the bully usually is driven by vengeance, is a reactive person, is engulfed by his or her fire. Then the warrior is usually always training his quality. He's always trying to learn to better him or herself for him or herself, and to be a better individual into his or her social system, while on the opposite side, the bully is usually struggles for crumbles of what he or she considers respect, but is in fact only temporary fear. Now, let's start with some direct, strict correspondences. For Mars, the color will be red. The day will be Tuesday. The metal usually related to Mars is iron. The card that best represents in the tarot deck the planet of Mars is the Tower, and in a zodiacal sense, Mars is best represented for this planet during the day by the sign of Aries and during the night by the sign of Scorpio. Now, for the herbs, as we said before, those who I think you can most easily find are basil, cinnamon, black pepper, chili pepper, and chives, but also allspice, coriander, turmeric, onions, garlic, nettle, geraniums, woodruff, honeysuckle, and cyclamen. Now, I hope with this lesson you get a better feel, better understanding of the energy of the planet. As always, I hope I will see you in the next episode. I deeply thank you for your kind attention, and may eternal light always shine on.